Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Ethereum is still playing out the rejection from this important resistance, while Bitcoin is now forming a new pattern in the short term, which could be about to break. So I'll be talking about that later in the video. Definitely watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a really quick update here on the 4-day Bitcoin chart. And right now, the price of Bitcoin is still running into this important resistance, sitting at around 30.5K if you're looking at the candle closes. But if you're looking at the top of this previous candle wick that we saw back in April, that's sitting closer to 31,000. So ideally, we need to see a confirmed breakout above around 31,000. And once again, that needs to be confirmed with ideally at least a weekly candle close above 31,000 in order to actually confirm a breakout. And so obviously until then, the price of Bitcoin is still running into this important resistance that we need to pay attention to. And while this is the case, technically this cup and handle pattern, even though it's completed its formation phase, it is not yet confirmed because we have not yet confirmed a breakout above this resistance. But with that being said, technically we're still within a larger multi-month long bullish trend that we've seen since around the beginning of this year. If you're looking at the super trend indicator on the 4-day time frame, it's still obviously sitting in the green. But anyway, now taking a look at the daily Bitcoin chart, once again, the price of Bitcoin is still running into this important resistance that I just mentioned. And if you're looking at the daily Bitcoin price oscillators over the last few days, obviously we have lost a little bit of short-term bullish momentum because once again, the price has been running into resistance. But not only that, we've also seen the daily Bitcoin RSI reach into overbought territories just a few days ago. And as I said on the channel, over the last few days, this means we're due to see a short-term cool-off in the price of Bitcoin, which means either some sideways price action or a slight pullback in the short term, which is exactly what we've seen over the last few days. And now, considering the fact that the daily Bitcoin RSI is still very close to overbought territories, we haven't really seen much of a reset in the RSI yet. Considering that's still the case, I would still expect a bit more of a short-term cool-off to continue to play out at least over the next few days. Because if you're looking at the last few times where the daily Bitcoin RSI entered into overbought territories, once again, historically speaking, this means we're due to see some sort of short-term cool-off, which can either be a pullback in the price of Bitcoin or simply a sideways consolidation before heading higher. But either way, this usually lasts at least multiple days, sometimes multiple weeks, sometimes even up to around a month or so before we continue higher if we're still within a larger bullish trend. So once again, just in the short term, do not be surprised if we do see either some choppy sideways price action or actually some bearish price action just over the next few days. And now staying on the daily time frame, taking a look at the Fibonacci extensions, once again, if we actually confirm a breakout above 31,000 with strong confirmation, then next I'll be targeting around 37,000. But obviously it is important to understand that I'll only be looking towards 37,000 if we first see a confirmed breakout above 31,000, which likely would not happen until we actually see a bit more of a short-term cool-off to help reset this RSI. And now, just before taking a look at the shorter term, first just quickly reminding you that there's only a couple days to go for this exclusive 1,000 USDT airdrop happening over at Bybit. And so if you want to take advantage of this or simply find out more details about how to get your hands on a free 1,000 USDT, then check it out. The first link in the description and in the pinned comment will take you to this page right here. But anyway, now getting into the shorter term, this is on the 2-hour Bitcoin chart. And as I said in my last video, just in the short term, I'm leaning relatively neutral because first of all, a few days ago, obviously we had that previous bearish divergence, meaning we're due to see reduced bullish momentum. But then just over the last 1 to 2 days, we had this small bullish divergence on the 2-hour time frame, meaning we're due to see reduced bearish momentum. And so overall, this is relatively neutral, especially considering the fact that we're still running into that major resistance. But with that being said, right now on the 2-hour Bitcoin chart, the price of Bitcoin is currently forming a new pattern, a symmetrical triangle pattern, because we currently have an ascending line of support and a descending line line of resistance. First of all, this line of support is currently sitting at around 30.1k, more specifically around 30,140, and this line of resistance is currently sitting at around 30.6k, more specifically around 30,650. And as always, in order to confirm a break to the upside or to the downside, we need to see a confirmed breakout, for example, a 2-hour candle close, or ideally something like a 4-hour or an 8-hour candle close for extra confirmation, either below support or above resistance. And obviously, depending on if the price either breaks support or breaks resistance, that would set up a technical price target for the price of Bitcoin. And speaking of that technical price target, if we see a confirmed break below that level of support that I just mentioned, around 30.1k, then in that case, that would set up a technical price target at around 28.8k to 28.9k. And so if you measure from the break to the downside to that price target, that's around a 4% move to the downside approximately, which could be coming next if we see a confirmed break below this support first. But on the flip side, if we actually see some sort of bounce here and we fail to see a candle close below support, and instead we actually see a breakout to the upside above that resistance with confirmation, then in that case, that would set up a technical price target at around $32,000. And so obviously that would also be around a 4 to 5% move to the upside if we actually see a confirmed breakout above this resistance first. And until then, while the price of Bitcoin is still trading in between this support and this resistance, obviously, once again, just in the imminent short term, we're looking relatively neutral, basically in a choppy sideways price range. And then the moment we see a confirmed break of one of these levels, that is when we set up the next technical price target, at least in the shorter term. And in fact, it would be ideal if we actually see a confirmed break to the downside in the short term, because obviously if we see more of a short-term correction in the price of Bitcoin in the coming days, then that could help to reset this daily Bitcoin RSI even further. And as always, when the RSI resets back down towards these lower levels, that gives us some more room to the upside later on. And so technically speaking, even if we see a break to the downside, obviously that means short-term bearish price action, but does not necessarily invalidate the larger multi-month long bullish trend. But anyway, with that being said, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart, and right now the price of ETH is still trading above this area of support, which was previous resistance for a short time just here and back here. And this price range is sitting in between around 1770 to 1820. So once again, that should be considered support in case we see a bit more of a short-term pullback. And as for the daily Ethereum price oscillators, as I've also mentioned over the last few days, just in the shorter term, of course, we have lost a bit of bullish momentum in the shorter term. And this is also because the price has run into short-term resistance, which right here on the 8-hour time frame can be seen by the golden pocket, the most important Fibonacci level, which is actually a price range in between around 1930 to 1940, where we saw a perfect rejection over the last few days. And now if you're zooming into the 6-hour time frame, once again, we're currently seeing a rejection from that short-term area of resistance. And on top of that, we currently have an active bearish divergence currently playing out in the short term, which I warned about all the way back up here. And so once again, this simply means that we're due to see reduced bullish momentum in the short term, which means we should be expecting either some choppy sideways price action or a slight pullback in the short term, which is exactly what we've been seeing as expected. And as for some other levels of support, we should find some support around here at around 1820 approximately. And below that level, we have this area, which should act as support like what we saw back here, sitting in between around 1750 to 1780. So once again, like I've said recently on the channel, just in the short term for the price of ETH, I'm still leaning more bearish than bullish just in the shorter term, while the price is still running into important resistance and playing out this bearish divergence. But technically speaking, this does not necessarily invalidate the larger trend that we've seen since around November last year or early this year. And now, if you want to know how to maximize your profits in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around sideways, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can make money no matter what direction the price is going using artificial intelligence, options, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit from a sideways price range. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.